What's up, guys? Vince Reddy here, and welcome to VinzTalk. This is a setup video where I have my little tripod thing on a desk, and yeah, I'm just gonna talk to y'all. A big party's coming up. This is not very a long. Actually, it might be a long VinzTalk. I don't really know. I got nothing else better to do. I mean, everything's already set up and ready for the party, which is Saturday. But other than that, yeah, let's do this. I don't even know if I have much videos as usual because I'm not a YouTuber anymore. But yep, that's what's going on. Big party soon, and also I don't know what it is going on out there. It's been cool here where I'm at. Usually it's very hot, but anywhere else, we're talking about New York, like even northern, like Canada, it is hot. I heard just ongoing news about just how hot it is out there, and it is crazy. But yeah, I'm doing good. I'm probably gonna work out later. Let's get into this because I have couple of things here that I missed. Literally, as I ended my Vince talk of last weekend, there was literally like already news surrounding Iran and us USA and pretty much. At this point, I'm like, I don't even know anymore. I don't even know because I just heard it and I was like, what's going on? What did the U.S. do? And just out of nowhere, just a few days after that, I guess Trump was like, no, we're in peace or something. I don't know. I don't follow up to this type of stuff. I probably should, but at the same time, it's so much to keep up. And like literally after that, out of nowhere, North Korea is trying to start something. And I'm just like, for crying out loud, what is going on with these damn countries against the U.S.? I thank goodness that USA is pretty big to the point where I know that the missiles are not going anywhere near the U.S., if we got to be real here. But at the same time, why are we starting beef, Trump? What's going on, Orange Man? But yeah, anyways, hopefully everything is going to be, just prayers. That's all we can do. Other than that, I heard that Omni is back. That's pretty interesting. Omni, a YouTuber that I follow, just type it up, OMNI, if you don't know him. You don't need to know him. Basically an alternative of Philip DeFranco, since Philip goes full on political, but Omni in a sense he does, but also he just talks about real life. He talks about like he's base. I think all news sites that I follow are based, both Phil and Omni. But in a sense of like, yeah, we're all base, but also there is some slight opinions here and there. A good amount of you may think I'm a Trump supporter because of my opinions about him, and also me and my opinions about Biden as well. And usually those are just realistic human points. Listen, I don't know anything about politics. You think I have a political degree or something like that? I don't need to. As long as I know what's going on in the country of real life things that adults like me go through in this everyday life here in the U.S., well, I'm going to share it. I'm going to talk about it. But other than that, yeah, I'm just back for mental reasons. He was gone for a month or something. I was like wondering what happened to him. I'm like, where you been? I was like, where were you? And I guess he took a health break. He basically was doing this full-on analysis video. It was so funny because it was like a video, and I forget how funny Omni is. It was just like him being like, yo, hear me out. Hear me out. See, the thing about life is, and I'm like, listen, if you don't have God or Jesus when it comes down to any discussions at all surrounding that, and you're just trying to come up here and be like, man, that's good for Omni. That's what I will say. Okay, that's good for you. That you're back, that you're happy, that you figure out life or something. You just need a break. Listen, we all need a break. But at the same time, I don't even know what the heck was he talking about. Talking about self-love and stuff like, man, bring Jesus into this. And then I'll agree with you. Because I cannot agree with anything that he was talking about or anything when it comes to any other stuff. Like, well, what do you mean self-love? You just took a break, bro. Like, guys, that's all you need. And that's it. Here's the thing. There's the simplest things in life where when it comes down to stuff that we don't need and we either we do need or we don't need, a lot of times it's best that we do need it, but at the same time, we don't know about it. We don't know what that thing is. There's a lot of stuff that I want that I just know that I might be uncomfortable with. But then I mean, that's me with video games. Okay, with the amount of games that I've been playing, there is like a lot of games that I want to play that I don't want to play, but once I do start playing them, I'm like, huh, this is something I kind of been wanting to play, and just out of nowhere, I for the whole time I've been running away from it. Like I think that's how it is in at least what I believe in today's society. We run away from things that we want, even though we want them and we know we want them, but we don't at the same time. We're on this ongoing left and right, just yin yang suicidal kind of like situation where do you need it or do you don't need it? You know what I mean? It's been like that, especially for me. And I realized that as you grow up, there are certain things that you seriously need, even though you don't need them. And once you have them, you're happy. I like the concept of kids. Like, you want to be a parent. I know I do. But there's times where I'm like, I don't know if I want kids. I don't know if I want to be married or something like that. But do I or do I not? It's so hard to tell because there will be always times on no matter what you're into or no matter what you do. When it comes down to just like, being a parent, when it comes down to having a job, when it comes down to being an athlete, something random like being an athlete, like and getting paid to be an athlete or getting paid to be YouTuber, it's something that there's going to be times where you're not going to like it, you're not going to want it, but you don't realize that. But at some points you're like, man, I'm just happy that I have this. I'm happy that I have my son, that I have my daughter. I'm happy that I'm a teacher. I'm happy that I'm an athlete, that I'm a basketball player and stuff like that. I'm happy that I have like a YouTube channel and stuff, but there's gonna be times where I'm like, wait, why do I have this? I hate this. I hate this. We're just that complex. In human nature, we're complex in general, and it's just not that easy to know what the heck you want or what you don't want because it goes on and off every day. We just don't know about it. I don't know about it. There's times where I want to sleep all damn day, and there's gonna be times where like, damn, is this my life? I just sit on here in this bed and just do nothing with my life other than, I don't know, meeting somebody or, having set a good example or have set up my future. I'm just gonna be on this bed with my parents. I don't want to live that. But there's times where I'm like, man, this is nice. I don't need to pay bills or anything. And there's times where I'm just like, as I think about it, especially now, I'm like, that is stupid. I need to be out there. I need to know what it's like in the adult world. It's complicated. It's real. I never thought I would get to this deep, realization. I think as I'm talking about Omni, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I changed my mind. Omni's good. Actually, I always thought that Omni's good. I didn't say anything bad. It just feels like I'm changing my mind as I think about Omni's life, and then I think about my life. What the heck did you do to me, Omni? What did you do to me? Anyways. Yeah, Omni's back. I don't know what I'm trying to put out there. At this point, still need you. So hopefully he finds him. But anyways, let's get into it. Apparently Diddy has dropped the charges. What's that about? I mean, I just heard about this news and I'm like, ain't no way he dropped no damn charges. It can't be. It can't be. But he did. So, yeah. He's supposed to be in jail, but when are we going to get to that point, huh? When are we going to get to that point where he's going to be in jail, locked up forever? Because most people are on that side, but for crying out loud, the judges always have a different thing. They always have a different future. What do you see in Diddy that makes you think like, yeah, we should drop the charges? He has so much crime, for crying out loud, man. Laying him out is the worst thing you could do. We're already dealing with enough, okay? In this damn country. Golly. Anyways. Next news. We got huge big ups, especially for those that are protective of animals and stuff like that. Sad news surrounding, their community, especially the girl known as the Save a Fox girl, aka Michaela. Michaela Reigns, she is like a person that I don't know much about her because I'm not much in that community, to be honest. And she basically set up funds and stuff like that, helping animals and helping the wildlife out there and stuff like that, and I find that cool, And also, yeah, apparently she basically off herself, and yeah, it's very unfortunate. I can't imagine going through this. This is pretty sad. I just know that when seeing this, I'm like, golly, that's heartbreaking. That's because it's just, the thing is, I want to say this. People that are thinking about ending themselves, I would say the S word, but I can't because we are here on YouTube. But basically, offing themselves, unaliving themselves, is never, and I mean never, the good answer. That will never ever be a good answer, and it will never be like if somebody say like, you know what, yeah, it's okay, you can offer yourself. Whoever's saying that is that is an evil human being. Okay, that is the devil. That is evil. That is beyond evil itself. When it like ain't no way in your mind where you're like, no, like I can't get behind that. I'm against that when it comes down to offering yourself and stuff. And listen, maybe your life is so miserable to the point you want to do it. That is never the answer because you're not going to go to heaven if you do. I mean, it just says there right in the Bible, like, people that people don't have the rights to end their life. And I know for sure that's not what God wants. And you don't, it's going to be an interesting conversation talking to your creator once you are, dead. And just, and he's going to ask you this. And what answers do you have? Let's be real. Because your life is miserable and stuff like that. And the thing is that I get it. There's times where I'm like, you know what, maybe better. I had this moment, not to get deep or anything like that. I know this is deep and I have a weird way of being deep because when it comes to being sad, I honestly don't really know how to be sad 100% because, well, I don't like to be sad. I don't make these VinzTalks to basically hurt my own feelings or be sad. Sometimes I like to have a little bit of fun, but also I like to jump into different things and basically help people when I'm talking about these certain things. Is that like, many others, of course, we go through those times where we're better off being unalive. And it's sad. I heard it from Spawn. He heard it from me. I guarantee everyone goes through that. Again, with the on and off days, the times where we don't want it, but we do or something. And sometimes you just couldn't tell when the days come by. But a lot of times, that is never the good answer. Game over of anything that you do in life should never be the answer. The amount of quitting can only make things worse. You think about, like, the amount of people that are fired, the amount of people that quit their job, and where are they now? They gotta go through, and some of them are lucky than others, but some of them, they literally are homeless. A lot of people, when they run away, when they lose something, it takes a lot to actually get back up. And once you are dead, there is no way of getting back up. For the most obvious reason that you are not alive. And you shouldn't unalive yourself. What happened to her is something I feel bad. She didn't. Nobody deserves that type of bullying. No one deserves this type of behavior. And I don't want to give any attention of the person starting this because those are monsters and they need to be apprehended. But at the same time, like, how did we get to this point? I think about Erica, rest in peace. I think about, the people that are not around us that did actually off themselves. And there's a part of me where, what if they were still here with us? What would they be? Because it makes you wonder. And sadly, of course, the usual thing that I don't know these people. And I'm just knowing them now because of this incident. Because I'm not really in that community of saving animals and stuff like that. To be real with you, I don't know what to tell you. But at the same time, it's heartbreaking. Like, may prayers go out to the family and stuff like that. No one should deserve this, okay? That's never the answer. I had people in my comments DMing me and stuff like that. And I said this, that, listen, there's a reason why my chat is open, DM's open. I usually don't talk to anyone, especially kids and stuff like that. But some of these people are literally going through it. They look at their favorite creators as if they're like something. And I'm not famous. I'm not like no one's favorite creator. I kind of believe that, There's so many other creators you can watch and stuff like that. For me, as a Fallout YouTuber or something, as somebody that used to do something and now it's completely gone because, well, I stopped doing it. I don't see the point why people coming back. But I do appreciate people still sticking around. At the same time, I don't know what you want from me. I can't save you from your pain. You can't keep talking to strangers on YouTube for like advice, especially me. So, but I also don't want to be the cause of people when they commit, when they off themselves. And I don't want to be the cause of that. I want to give people a chance to make them happy. I would be a monster to say like, hey, I don't care what you're going through, get away from me. That who says that? Who would ever says that? The thing is that I want to be a good role model. I want to actually be a father figure for some of you. And there's a lot of young folks out here, especially YouTube, especially what I've been doing. I've seemed to attract a lot of young folks and stuff like that. And at this point, I have no idea what to do with them. But at the same time, even though, like, they're not young anymore and they're grown up, because I used to do the webtoon and it's been kind of like a year or a few years or something like that, I still am here to help. But that's all I can do. I'm literally nobody at this point. I don't know what you want from me. I cannot give the best advice, but I can give a good enough advice by telling you, you know what, usually I would just say like find Jesus and stuff, but also I would tell you like, listen, life is gonna make you do things that you feel like that it's a waste, and that's how life is. That's just the reality of it. And to be real with you, like it doesn't always have to be like that, but a lot of times we live in this world where sadly it is. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you. The thing is that I try to help many, but at the same time, I usually get nothing, especially now that I've, fell off from YouTube. Is that what they call it? Fell off? Is that, I don't know the freaking terms that these kids are using. Fell off. Okay, I basically, when I fell off, and I did it in purpose because, well, I don't want to really be a YouTuber anymore. I just do it for fun, and that's it. I don't know. I think I share about that so many times, especially the concept or the topic of me quitting Webtoon. But anyways, yeah, it's heartbreaking. I saw the husband's like TikTok talking about this. Understandably devastated. Understandably, he just looks wrecked, and I can't blame him. Many prayers. Hope, God would actually help these people. Anyways, Natalie, there's this, listen, I'm around TikTok here and there. I've been seeing trends here and there. And apparently there was this one particular video that I saw about this individual named Natalie Reynolds or whatever. I think that's her name. She is small. The thing is that, there are certain YouTubers and stuff like that. They have a dream. They have this sort of like fantasy world that they live in. And this did, Natalie, especially for this particular moment on TikTok that she recorded, or at least, many people were calling her out because of that. Because listen, it's basically a TikToker with 200 or less 200 followers. Understand that I have 15. Oh, well, actually not 15,000. What am I saying? It could have been easy if I said that. But basically below 15,000, I have like basically 100 times more of her following. Okay. And that's not me to flex on myself. The thing is that I have never thought of doing a fan meetup, to be real. I just don't. I find that weird, to be real honest. Maybe like a Zoom or something, or a collab. But at the same time, when it comes to a fan meetup, I don't know where that is. I feel like if with my following itself, it's not big enough. I feel like I need like at least like 50,000, 100,000, and also the right amount event to do it and stuff like that. But I'm not really necessarily that big to actually the idea of doing a fan meetup just never crossed my mind, or any type of meetup. But what she did, as under 200 followers, she did a freaking fan meetup. The most dumbest idea ever. Dumbest idea. And maybe because she's young and she's passionate and stuff like that, and she don't freaking understand. I don't know how old she is. She looks like 21 at least. She looks like 25, 21, something around that, college age or whatever. But and acts like a teenager. But at the same time, she has a fan meetup. And yeah, no one showed up because you have like 200. I'm like, who the frick does that? When you have like 100 and 200 followers, that don't freaking mean they're gonna meet you. If anything, nobody really cares. Like that's below 200. Like even if it was below my following, 15,000 or something like that, you still won't get anybody meeting you when you're freaking meet up, especially in your hometown. Like, you think they're gonna go away? Like, these could be people from out of the country or stuff like that, and they're not gonna go away to meet you, especially with the following you have. They don't freaking care. Even with that following, can't even do it online, on live or anything like that. I guarantee you, they're not gonna care. Because my gosh, with that low following, actually set up a fan meetup. I'm like, what? Like, whose dumb idea? She had a security guard. She had the whole setup in some theater or whatever, and she had like literally enough room and all this stuff. Like, it was all set up for like a big event. No one showed up for the most obvious reasons. I'm like, who does this? This is so dumb. Oh my god, I saw that and it made me, you know what? I'm happy with my following. I'm actually, I don't really appreciate much. I'm a fell off YouTuber at the end of the day with almost 15,000 subscribers, but at least I'm not crazy enough to actually put a fan meetup or do something like this, I guess. But that's just heartbreaking. Like, especially, like, come on. Even when I was a kid doing YouTube, because I've been doing this for a very long time, or at least when I was like graduating high school or something like that, that I remember that even if I had like I was about to hit 9,000 subscribers, and the idea of a fan meetup still is stupid. The idea of that, like, because I remember someone asking me that, oh, you should do a fan meetup. We don't have enough subscribers. Maybe one day, but you never know. That's what I said. I just knew that, even with that much, it's still like small. Like, who does that under like 1,000 or 10,000 subscribers? That just doesn't, that don't add up at all. I don't know. You do the math and you're just like, especially if like sometimes some people show if you get 1 million followers, and that is probably enough. So whatever. I don't know why she did this. Has to be for attention, because you have to be that dumb to know that you have like oh, I have almost 200 followers, maybe I should do a fan meetup. What the anyways. Also, Liver King is calling out Joe Rogan. I don't know what that's about. I feel like that's a common thing that I keep saying. I don't know what that's about, when I'm talking about new topics, because I don't know the freaking good segue around this. Why would I compare Liver King to a little girl like, named Natalie Reynolds? Liver King is like a freaking big old beast man with a big old beard and stuff like that. Always eating freaking livers and like, I don't like what he eats. Can I be real? Or what he's known for eating. It's disgusting. Main reason I don't follow him. He did this. However, Liver King did this very funny skit with one of my favorite, like, food like TikTokers out there, or food YouTubers, however you may call him. He's kind of like all over the place. Name QCP, the guy that's known for saying "pasta, batch," something like that. That's literally what he said. I don't meant to cuss, but he said BETCH. Okay. For those that don't know, cussing is kind of like a no for this, but that's kind of like his catchphrase. And also, he's not saying the actual B word. He kind of just twists it up, even though it's still the B word. I'm not saving myself. I don't care. But at the same time, he's one of my favorites. He's a very, he always has this joke like, yeah, I'm Italian. I'm a freaking Italian. I'm Italian. Yeah, I'm so freaking Italian. Let me tell you. And I'm like, we get it, bro. You Italian. I'm not over here flexing my wings being Italian. Like, that's like, come on. But yeah, that's kind of like what he's sort of known for. And he makes all these variations of pasta. He has a lot of money. He's always traveling and going places and cooking pasta in different areas and stuff. He's a food channel with crazy stuff. He always seems to wear he seems to be shirtless, but also wearing like an apron over, and also like drinks olive oil, of course, because he's Italian. He's Italian. But yeah, that's the only thing I remember from Liver King. Other than that, getting threatened by Liver King, especially when Joe Rogan's case, and I know that Joe Rogan has nothing to worry about. That's a big influencer, and what I know is that yeah, he has nothing to worry about, but that has to be freaking terrifying. I don't know what Liver King said to him. I didn't see the video. I don't want to see it. But I can only imagine it's pretty terrifying, especially with Liver King going on nuts and wanting, to catch a body with with Joe Rogan. I can imagine how terrifying that is. I can only imagine that he's like just screaming like, "Ah, I'm gonna get you, Joe Rogan." Oh my gosh. Anyways, let's talk about all this gay stuff here. Lily Tino. So apparently there's this lot of talk about Lily Tino, the individual that a lot of trans folks really do hate. I will say that. By the way, Pride Month is almost over, so I never celebrate it and never want to, never will. I will say that. Okay, I'm sorry. It's funny. I used to be a channel that is heavily dedicated to the LGBT plus community. No, I can't do it. I can't. That's kind of like another reason why I stopped with the webtoon stuff. I'm like, nah. We're done with this gay stuff. Okay, we're done. Repent your sins. But also, yeah, Latino. Went to is actually no. I put out Latino going to jail 100%, and I'm saying that like she might, go into jail question mark, because there's a lot of legal angles. Listen, just don't freaking take a picture of yourself in the bathroom with other people with you, because they might sue you, especially in Disney. That's kind of creepy, my guy. That's kind of creepy. No one likes Latino. I can tell you that much. I know I don't. Like, what else is this man got to throw? Anyways, also news about Jojo Siwa, if anybody remembers that name. I do remember talking about it, and I do remember saying that, oh, she's going to be straight 100%, and she is. She is. It kind of reminds me, is like, there was also this other YouTuber, I forget her name. I probably shouldn't mention her name, but this is an individual that has officially came out, and it was a video like a few days ago, and she basically still has a girlfriend, even though she met this girl. It's a girl that actually has a girlfriend, but also a girl that identifies as bi, like me, and also that is, pretty much meeting with a girl, or aka roommate, which I find crazy. And yeah, just like, like, I don't know. I feel like I would give mad props to the boyfriend being all numb about this, because even she was like, man, my boyfriend seems okay with all this of me with another girl or something, my own boyfriend. And I'm like, well, I don't know if that guy's okay. That's just me. I'm just saying. But I don't know. But for Jojo Siwa's case, literally it's not a lesbian anymore. And I always see her as lesbian in a sense, but I guess not anymore. And when it comes to her being with another guy officially, and them being together, even from a person that she doesn't like, or the individual was like, oh, when you in this show, you're probably not going to be gay anymore and stuff like that. And he wasn't wrong. So yeah, apparently Jojo Siwa is out of the Alphabet Mafia. There we go. I don't know, actually. Is she still in there? Maybe not. She could be by like the other girl I mentioned. But anyways, let's get into gaming news, because I want to get a snack. Let's talk about the Stop Killing Games Foundation. Apparently it's ending. What's that about? Huh? What's the color code? But like first off, we need organizations to protect games. We need organizations to actually, I don't know, stop games from dying, because that's a life that I want to live in, And apparently we're just not going to get there. But for some reason, we just have to end this. Like, why? Why is it that most places that has like a setup for like, I'm not going to mention those actually, now I think about it. But places that, that actually has preserved games, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, RR, my matey. Or places that actually offers games, but they suddenly close down out of nowhere. Like what happened with the you-know-what vault, where people get their you-know-what ROMs, you know what I mean. Listen. In some ways, we have to preserve games. If you don't care about the freaking games, and I'm not just talking about games. There's also movies. There's also music. There's also, like, books. Books that I never heard before. I would love for a day that I would like to check out some books from, I don't know, like the 1800s that are preserved. The same way that games, like same way as like binge series of like certain video games. Like, how's there like the Pokemon series? What if there was a Pokemon series before Pokemon, but in the books? But it's like set in somewhere in ancient Egypt or something, but we never freaking heard about it before. That would be cool. It would be like a series, but we never heard about it. I would love to know what that stuff is. Just like unknown series from ancient times. But no, because that we didn't preserve stuff at that point. If anything, they're probably gone forever and forever ever. And listen, games are not too far from that. We need to preserve the media. At any point, your favorite shows My Amazing Digital Circus could be gone like literally in a few like years, which would be crazy. Can you imagine if My Amazing Digital Circus, Hazbin Hotel, or whatever your favorite like cartoons and stuff like that are just all of a sudden freaking gone from the face of the planet? You know, understandably, God would make sure to have Hazbin Hotel gone. That's for sure. But like for any other cartoon shows or anything series, like if Pokemon was gone, if Miraculous was gone, golly, that would okay. I don't know how that would happen. It feels like Astruck is getting too close to that point. Like Astruck, you need to behave out there. Okay, I'm just being real with you. Worry about your shows. But like just cartoon shows and stuff like that, just straight up just gone, and they were just like here like a few days ago, or a few years ago. Like I can't imagine. Like I think we almost had that with some shows out there that were out. Like I know that I heard something. Like I don't know. It wouldn't be surprising to hear that either like Horse Jacks, or I forget his name. See, I forget how to say the name or something. Different shows and series out there that are was around that were popular. Like like few years ago, and just out of nowhere like they're just disappearing, dropping like flies. Like we're not too far from that. That's why we have to preserve stuff. This is like set up for the generation, but also for extra content, and also in the sense of like learning from that content. Like there is so many good shows from back in the 2005 and stuff like that, and we just forgot about them. Aqua Teen Force, Teenage Mutant Turtles, Jim, what is it called? Damn, I forget. There's like so many that I probably forget. Okay, like I like it. Does anybody remember Ben 10 and what happened to that? Like I don't know what was the last time we mentioned about Ben 10, especially in cartoon form or something like that. People are just out of nowhere mentioning Totally Spies, a show that I grow up with. How did we get here? Like it's crazy. Like we're at that point already. Golly, but yeah, that's why I just want to bring up that, Stop Killing Games cannot be gone. And I don't know what is the cause of it ending or anything. That is some news probably that we're going to get here. And I heard this from Side Scrollers, so that's why I'm talking about it. You know what I mean? Also, next up is, this is the last game news. There's some other stuff involving systems, and I'm not interested in that, to be real with you. But, yeah, Mang0, some competitive esports Smash player, is gone from, basically was in a club. And by the way, this is surrounding Extra Emily's, stream. I can never understand these streamers. Foosley, Pokimane, Extra Emily for sure. I don't like IRL streamers. I really don't. It's not because of, it's the cause of like Vitaly caused it or John Somali or whatever, even though the consequences that they're getting is beautiful and they deserve it, every inch of it. But at the same time, I don't watch IRL streamers. If I want to witness IRL, I go outside. I go outside. You can do that, right? You can go outside and do your own freaking IRL stream, which I won't do because I don't like recording myself in public. But when it comes to these damn streamers, I can't vibe with that. Maybe when they play an interesting game, when they support indie gamers and stuff like that, you can talk to me. But other than that, when it comes to like I don't know, the crazy shenanigans, like what Extra Emily's been doing, or at least, who she's surrounded by, it's kind of crazy. And what Mang0 is doing to her, or at least, doing to other girls in this particular party where all of them are shirtless and playing Mario Kart World, very questionable and canceled. I'm not going to tell you what he did, or give you but there's clips out there. Just search Mang0, the Smash player, search Extra Emily /Mang0, and you might find it somewhere, okay? But Ludwig talked about this, and basically you fired him, and Mang0 apologized, and yeah, that, sad to say that Mang0, because of his drinking habits, because of him being drunk, and it caused him to be this crazy and inappropriate to the point where he's banned from companies. He's, his sponsors are gone, his team, and basically the dream job for most gamers that they wanted, it all vanished from Mang0. And rightfully so, because, well, this is what happens when you act too crazy and you don't hold your liquor. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't know. I am not an alcoholic. I wouldn't know that type of addiction at all. So what I could imagine, that you got too crazy and slushed out, and we sometimes all get to that point of just like, we don't care about anything. Might as well drink, might as well smoke a blunt or whatever, might as well fornicate or all that jazz. And we all get to that point. That's human nature. But at the same time, it's all a matter of how you treat it or hold it. You either do it privately at your own home, which you could have done, or you just, do it, but also not actually, be crazy, but instead you become crazy, and you just cause all this necessarily madness. Some people have it worse when it comes to being drunk. I seen some things, okay, when it comes to them being drunk and they take off all their clothes, and I mean all their clothes off, they are on the ground. And they, we gotta call the police, but also this is just a weird look as well. Like, where are your panties, bro? Like, what is you doing? You slushed out. And I would have to thank the Lord that I'm not their friend. I don't want to pick them up and be like, yo, man, I'm sorry. I have to be embarrassed because I'm picking up my naked friend off the ground because he's so freaking dumb drunk. Like, get your life together, bro. Like, I would just, yo, man, you're pissing me off right now. But I have to freaking help you because you're drunk on the freaking ground, and I have to save your ass just from embarrassment. But I'm being embarrassed. You owe me, bro, and I pay for your drinks too because I'm a nice person. Thank goodness I don't have friends like that. I could have had friends like that. I know I had a couple of friends that I used to be friends with, that I used to be cool with in the past, and these are people that you have no idea who they are because these were like after high school and stuff like that. And they were just like, the alcohol consumed them. The alcohol demon possessed them. And I didn't know about it because guess what? I was out of there. Okay, God took me out of there. And I was out of these freaking drunkard streets. And I was done for. Listen, I don't need to be freaking hood / mad Brooklyn in here. But at the same time, you can just hold your liquor. But of course, he's taking responsibility. Hopefully, this is a change for him. We gotta pray for him. That's all we can do. That's all we can do for a good old Mang0. Okay? Anyways, I got some other news here that I forgot to mention as I'm looking at the freaking thumbnail. In-N-Out Burger. Someone is getting sued from In-N-Out Burger or something like that. It's a skateboarder, actually, named Brian Arnett. And he's getting, sued by In-N-Out. And the stuff he did to get sued by them is insane. I thought I trusted the guy. But I guess not. Not all of us are perfect. I mean, this is him in the past, but at the same time, when you do stuff like this, in terms of, even if it's a prank, it will still haunt you. Understand that certain things that you do will cause consequences, for sure, okay? Let's be real. Anyways, animation. My goodness. But again, the consequences, okay? That's what I'm dealing with Webtoon, that's for sure. I'm done. Okay, moving on. So, Digital Circus. I hope everyone's enjoyed my reaction / well, actually, not. I could have done a reaction. I'm so pissed that I didn't do a reaction because there was so many good things to react. There's a slight chance that I might react to it again. I'm thinking about it. But at the same time, that boat has sailed, baby. That boat has sailed. But I'm thinking about it. I'm still thinking about it. When I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about it. Let me tell you, I'm thinking about it. But, Digital Circuit, a lot of people were reacting. Some YouTubers that I haven't heard in a while, like Van Melon, RTTV, just other YouTubers and stuff like that, and other YouTube groups where I haven't heard in a while, and just out of nowhere, now I'm hearing them as they're talking about Digital Circus here. My goodness, what a world. Anyways, I heard Chloe's back in Paris. This is some good old miraculous news, according to Hayes Clark. Shout out to her. And Chloe's back in Paris. What is that about? Is Chloe coming back? Is she gotta have a turn of heart? Well, Astruck stop being a... I'll stop. Anyways, but hopefully Chloe's coming back. Let me tell you. Also, K-pop Demon Hunters need to be a series. I said it. I said it right now. I said it again. I said it forever. Needs to be a series. Needs to be. 100%. Okay? I have no other news to talk about other than those. But if I have anything else, then too bad. You're going to have to wait next week, baby. On over to peace and God bless.